All righty. So, you know what, today, let's just start in child's pose today. Child's pose is a fantastic place to be. Anytime you need a little bit of a break or something is just not working for us, child's pose is always there for us. Child's pose and down dog are just absolutely phenomenal little places to find ourselves at any point in our day. So hips are going to come down low by our heels. Arms will come out. Just kind of stretch those fingers out, wiggle them out, and then press them in to our mats as we move our hips back towards our heels. Take a few deep breaths here, in through our nose, and then out from our mouths. See if we can get the tension to melt away from our shoulders. You can even just drop the head and rest it on our mat. And then we'll seal our lips and inhale and exhale from our nose. Good. And then from here, let's press into those hands and we'll lift our shoulders up and bring them over our wrists. Our knees will find themselves underneath of our hips. Spread those shoulder blades out. Tuck the tail just a tiny bit and lengthen all along from the top of our head down to our tailbone in tabletop. Good. Exhale, let's round into a cat, lifting our spine up toward the sky, tucking our chin in toward our chest. And then inhale, let's lower that tummy and lift the heart into our cow. Exhale to our cat. Inhale, cow. Exhaling, cat. Just flowing with our breath. Moving that spine around. Let's do one more of each. Good. And then we'll find ourselves back in our tabletop. Keep those shoulder blades spreading apart. And now let's lift up our right hand, little twist here. And then exhale. We'll just do a quick thread the needle as we reach underneath that left arm. And then inhale, we'll come up nice and high. And exhale, threading it through. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, reaching through. And then coming back to our tabletop. We'll move over to the other side. So as we inhale, we'll lift up that left hand, opening up the shoulders, and then exhaling with purpose as we reach underneath the right arm. And then inhale, we'll lift up. And exhale, we'll lower and reach through. Breathing deeply and moving slowly and deliberately. Lifting high. Exhale, last one. Reaching through. And then back to our tabletop. Very good. From here, nice long spine, active tummy. Inhale, right hand will come out in front of us and we'll press the left leg back behind. Good. And now as we exhale, let's bring the elbow and the knee together. A little bit of a round here, much like our cat and our cow. And then inhale, we'll lengthen again. One more time. Exhale, round and touch. Inhale, we lengthen. And then we'll lower that right hand down to our mat. And we'll step forward with the left foot into a little lunge here. Just wiggle our way into it. Let those hips begin to relax. And allow the movement. Good. And we'll step back. Find our tabletop again. And then inhale, we'll lift up this left hand and we'll press back that right foot. Our limbs are moving out in opposite directions. Good. And now as we exhale, let's bring that knee and the elbow together. We'll tuck our chin as we round. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale one more time as we round. And inhale, we lengthen. Good, and we'll just lower that left hand down and we'll step the right foot forward into our baby lunge here on this side. Good, and we'll step back with that right foot. Come back to our child's pose. Arms are out in front of us, pressing each finger into our mats, pulling the shoulders away from our ears. And we'll tuck the toes underneath of our butts. Stretch out those arches. Feel the round in our back as we get those hips back by our heels. And then when we're ready, pulling the shoulders away, pressing into those hands and toes, lifting our hips, bending the knees as we lengthen from our fingertips all the way back to our tail. Pedal the feet, wake up the backs of our legs. And we begin to settle our way into our downward facing dog. Lifting the tail, bringing the tummy in towards our thighs. And then we can begin to press the heels down in towards our mat. Good. Let's look forward just past our fingers. We'll step or we'll hop up to the top of our mats and find a forward fold here. A little bend in our knees is fine. We lower the head and chest. And then bending the knees even deeper. We round as we roll our way up. Hands come up to the sky. Good. And now let's bring those hands together at our hearts, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the heart, breathing down into our belly. And then let's take that left foot. We'll step back and open our toes up toward the corners of the mat. A little bit wider with our feet than our hips, bringing our elbows to our ribs. Shoulders are down. Inhale. Let's lift those hands up high. And then exhale. Let's sit down into a wide-legged squat here. Moonflowers. Elbows to our ribs. Good. Inhale. Let's lift. And exhale. We'll lower down. Inhaling up. And exhaling, lowering down. Moving with our breath at our own pace. Good. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Exhale, we'll lower down. And then we'll inhale this time. As we lower down, we'll open our arms big and wide. Knees bend until we can't get any further. And then we'll hinge at the hips to gather up those sunflowers. Inhale, we lift. And exhale, lower, and then hinge. And using that whole body to help lift and lower. Let's do one more. We inhale up. Exhale, we'll lower down. And then inhale, we'll come up nice and high. Again, sitting down into that low squat. Elbows to our ribs. We'll point our palms up toward the sky here in a goddess pose. Good. And then we'll place our hands onto our thighs. Keep sitting low, but we can kind of rest on those hands. I'll just do some little shoulder dips. So we'll exhale, little twist, lowering one shoulder down to the center. And then inhale back to the top. Exhale, twisting to the other side. And back up on our inhale. Exhale, we lower. Inhale back to the center. Second side. And up. Let's do one more to each side. Exhale down. And up. Last one. Exhaling, twisting. And back to the center. Let's inhale. Lift the hands up to the sky. And shake out those legs a little bit. That was a lot of squatting. Let's point those toes in front of us, keeping the legs wide. And we'll hinge at the hips. Forward fold here. Wider legs this time. Good. And now let's walk our hands over to the right. Our left hand will find that right foot. Right hand reaches up to the sky. And lowering back down to the center for one breath. We'll lengthen in that spine. Exhale, we'll fold a little bit deeper. And then when we're ready, we'll walk those hands over to the left. Right hand finds that foot. The left hand reaches up to the sky again. Good, and back down and to the center. One more breath here in our fold. And then we'll point those right toes toward the top of our mat. We'll walk the hands forward, stepping with that left leg so that we're folding forward, feet right underneath of our hips. Bending the knees, inhaling, lifting high. And now exhaling, let's sit down into that chair. Big circles with our arms. Lowering the butt, lifting the heart. Good, inhaling high. And now exhale, softening the knees, hinging at the hips, lowering down to our fold. Let's inhale to a flat back. Exhale, chest comes down, fingers find the mat, stepping back with the left foot into a lunge. Lunge can be on our toe back there, or we can lower that left knee down to the mat. Let's lift up the right hand. And exhale it down, stepping back with that right leg, downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale forward into a plank. First one of our practice, so it may be on our knees, that's totally fine. Exhale, chests go forward, elbows go back. We lower down to our tummies. Soften the feet, hands are underneath of our shoulders. Inhale, we can do a little cobra, or we can come up to upward facing dog. We'll tuck the toes behind us, lift our hips high, press back into our downward facing dog. Good, let's lift up that right leg. We'll kick ourselves in the bum, open up the hip. And then slowly we'll step that foot forward in between our hands into our lunge here. Good, and now let's open up warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, lifting that right hand, lowering the left, sinking down into the lunge. And then exhale, down to our side angle. Good, inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale, let's cartwheel those hands down to our mats. Find our lunge again, and we'll step forward with that left foot for a forward fold. Inhale to our flat back, long legs. Exhale, we fold. Soften the knees. Inhale, roll our way up. And now exhale, little back bend here. Chest is lifting to the sky, hips are coming forward, shoulders moving back. Inhaling up. And exhale, let's sit down into that chair. Inhaling high. Exhale, softening the knees, hinging at the hips. Folding forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we fold. Let's step back with that right leg into our lunge. And then our left hand will come up. and back down. Right here, we'll step back with that left leg, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come forward into our plank. Exhale, we'll lower down. Inhale, we can do upward facing dog, or we can do a cobra. We'll tuck those toes, lift our butts, pressing back with those hands to downward facing dog. Lift up that left leg, three-legged dog. And we'll kick ourselves in the bum, open up the hips to the left. And then slowly we'll bring the knee into our chest, shifting forward, stepping with that left foot into our lunge. Let's find our balance. We'll open up warrior two on this side, lowering that left heel or right heel down, bending the left knee, pulling the shoulders back. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhaling, side angle. Beautiful. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then we'll cartwheel those hands down to our mats, find our lunge, and we'll step forward with the right foot to the top of our mat for forward fold. Let's inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we'll fold, bending the knees, rolling our way up. Nice and high with those hands. And then exhale, little back bend. Good. Inhaling back up high, reaching those fingers, dropping the shoulders. And now let's bring those hands back behind us for a chest expansion. We can pull those shoulders back, hold that imaginary ball behind us, or we can clasp our hands together and pull those hands down towards our keister, lifting the heart. Now from here, let's lift our chin just a little bit. Good. Lowering the chin, softening those elbows, releasing the hands all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, let's sit down into our chair. Good. Let's bring those hands to our hearts, pressing into each palm, pulling the shoulders back, sitting down into that chair. We'll take that right elbow and turn around toward the left. See if we can get that elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Beautiful. One more breath. Excellent. Coming back to the center. Then we'll go over to the other side. Left elbow around to that right thigh, pressing into the palms, opening up the shoulders. Beautiful. Back to the center. And we'll just fold from here. Inhale to our flat back. Exhale, we fold. We'll step back with that left foot. And lifting the right hand. And back down, finding our balance here. Inhale, high lunge. Good, opening up, warrior two, lowering that left heel down, sinking down into that right lunge. And now let's lengthen that right leg. We'll shift those hips back behind us, reach forward. Keeping that good hinge here, length inside those ribs. We'll lower the arm, raise the left up for triangle. Let's inhale back to a reverse warrior, bending that right knee, lifting the right hand. And again, back into our triangle, exhaling down. One more time, inhaling, reverse warrior. And now let's turn back to our high lunge, lifting that left heel up off of the ground. And we'll lower our hands down onto our mats right in front of these right toes, shifting our weight, lifting the left foot back behind us for a 3-point balance. Exhale, gently bending both knees, rounding in the spine. Inhale, lengthening. And exhaling, slowly bending and rounding. Inhale, lengthening. One more time, exhale. Lengthening, 3-point balance. And then we'll lower that left foot back down into our lunge, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhaling forward into our plank. Exhale, down to our tummies. Good, inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting our hips, downward facing dog. Good, let's lift up that right leg. We'll bring the knee into our chest. We'll set ourselves up for pigeon here. Right knee comes right behind the right wrist, flexing the foot, and then softening the left knee behind us. Good, let's tuck that left toe behind us, press into our hands, lift our hips up nice and high, pressing back to 3-legged dog. We'll step forward with that right foot, and then the left into our forward fold at the top of our mat. Good, inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we'll fold. Rounding as we rise up to the sky with those hands. Little back bend here. Inhaling high. And then exhale, let's bring the arms back behind us, shoulders back, chest expansion. Inhaling, releasing and lifting. And exhale, let's bring those arms around and we'll sit down into our chair. Good, hands come to our hearts, pressing into those palms, pulling the shoulders back, sitting low, taking the left elbow around to the right thigh. And back to the center. Find that chair, the stability in our core. Lengthen on that inhale, exhale. Let's take the right elbow around to the left. Good, and back to the center. And straight down to our forward fold from here. Inhale to our flat back. Exhale, we'll fold. Step back with that right foot into our lunge. Lifting up the left hand. And exhaling down. Let's find that balance. Inhale to our high lunge. And then we'll open up warrior two. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, back to our warrior two. And then we'll lengthen in that left leg, shift our hips back behind us, reach forward, and we'll set ourselves up for triangle on this side. Keep that length on those inside ribs as well as the outside ribs. Pulling those hips back behind us, lengthening inside both of our thighs. Good, and then back to our reverse warrior. Good, again, triangle pose. One more time, reverse warrior. And now we'll bring both hands up. We'll turn toward the top of our mat. Slowly lift that right heel up. Find our high lunge here. Good, and then hands come back down to our mat. Stepping back, three-legged dog. Good, we'll lower that left leg down into our downward facing dog. Inhale forward into our plank. Exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Good, tucking the toes, lifting our hips, pressing back. I forgot 3-point balance. So we're going to lift up our left leg. I knew there was something. Good, stepping forward into our lunge. Fingers are right in front of our toes, lifting up that right leg back behind us. Good, and then as we exhale, we'll slightly bend both knees, rounding in our spine as we tuck our chin. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, we round. Inhale, lengthen. One more time. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lengthening. Good, and now let's lower that right toe back down to the mat, stepping back, three-legged dog. We'll bring that knee into our chest, set ourselves up for pigeon on this side. Lowering that right leg down nice and soft. Good. Let's tuck that right toe. Press into our hands. Lift our hips. Press back, three-legged dog. And then we'll step forward with that left foot. And then with the right into our forward fold. Then from here, we can even keep our feet exactly where they are, and we're going to begin to lower those hips down. We'll roll up into a little ball here. Good, and then we'll just gracefully rock back onto our backs. We can rock forward and backward, side to side if we would like. And then we'll find ourselves in our little egg. Release the left leg down to our mats. We'll hug the right into our body, super, super tight, relaxing the shoulders and the head. Good, and now let's release that right leg, raise it up toward the sky, flexing the foot. Hands can come behind the thigh or behind the calf as we gently encourage it in towards us, bit by bit. Bend the knee if we need. Good, and now let's bend this left knee, place the foot on the floor. We'll take this right ankle, cross it over that left knee, opening up the right knee away from our body. We can stay here if that's where we're at, or we can lift that left foot up, hold behind the hamstring with our hands. As we again just encourage those legs to come in towards us. Good, let's release that left leg. We'll hug that right knee into our body one more time. And now let's just guide that knee across our body over toward the left for a small spinal twist. Arms can come out wide like a T, or this left hand can just gently touch the knee. Good, let's release that leg. Come back to the center. Both knees can come in toward our chest. Roll up into our egg. And then we'll move on to the second side, releasing the right leg down to our mat. Left knee gets hugged tightly in towards our body. Good. Releasing that leg up to the sky. Hands come behind the leg in some fashion, flexing the foot, and gently with our breath, exhaling, encouraging that leg to come in towards us. Good. Let's bend that right knee, place the foot on the floor, and we'll cross the left ankle over the knee. Encouraging that left knee away from our body, creating lots of space this time. Before we were hugging it close. Now we're setting it free away from us. Couple of breaths here. Good. And then if we would like, we can bring that right leg in towards us for a few more breaths. Good. Let's release that right leg. Hug the left back into our bodies one more time. And then we'll release and guide it across our body for the spinal twist on this side. And then we'll release that knee in to the center again, bringing both knees together and in, rolling up into our ball. One more breath here, inhaling deeply. And then exhaling, releasing everything down to the earth, closing our eyes. softening throughout our body for Shavasana. And when we're ready, and only when we're ready, we deepen our breath. Start to become aware of our body again as we move our fingers and our toes. When it's time, we'll bring our knees in to our chest and we'll rock over onto our side. And eventually help ourselves up to seated. Take this quiet time to check in with how we are feeling, physically and mentally. we'll bring our hands together at our hearts and give ourselves thanks for all of the gifts that we just gave us. I am also so very thankful for you, for joining me and sharing your time and allowing me to help you through your practice. I truly hope that it has brought both energy and peace, some clarity, and a very good connection with yourself today. The light and the divine in me recognizes and respects the light and the divine in each of you. And when we are together, whether physically or virtually, we are one. Namaste.